Hi, friends. Miss Janet here from the Alexander Hamilton Memorial Free Library. As many of you know, I work in the children's section, and every Sunday evening we try to select a book that we think you would enjoy for bedtime. And so I know I have a lot of friends out there that love horses, and so I thought I would select a book that is a little bit historical, and at the same time is great for those book lovers, the library lovers, and our horse lover friends. And so the story tonight that I would love to share with you is about the Horseback Librarians. I'll bet many of us didn't even know that there was such a thing, right? Well, we're about to find out. And this story is written by Jane Yolen and illustrated by Alexandra Badu. Librarians in the early 20th century in the South delivered books to families by horseback and mule, sleeping outdoors or sheltering in barns when they could, going from farm to remote areas. Adults and children both looked forward to these visits. And so we're about to find out how that happens. And so the sun is barely poking its head around the horizon. A young woman on a tan horse called Sand, saddlebags packed full of surprises, has already begun her rounds. She is delivering books to readers in the backwoods of Kentucky. And Kentucky is another state not too far away from our beloved state of Pennsylvania. And it looks like it's kind of fall, doesn't it? Kind of like the time that we're in right now. The first night, Anna Mary rhymes with library, she likes to say, shelters in a small forest of pines. She ties Sand, her horse, to one of the trees and snuggles into a sleeping bag. It is too nice a night to set up her tent. Oh gosh, look at that. So librarians on horseback many times, they actually slept in tents or slept outside in between their places to visit. I think that takes a lot of courage, don't you? In the morning, Anna Mary eats a quick meal of cornbread and she has a cup of tea she has heated on a small fire. And we can see here she's near the water. And before they leave, she makes sure the fire is put out, the ashes scattered with dirt. Then she takes Sand to a nearby creek where he can drink water and munch grass. And then they set out again. There she is, cried Adam, looking out the window to the dirt track that winds around the meadow. Of course, says his mother, as she pumps fresh water into the sink to wash the breakfast dishes. Has Anna Mary ever missed a visit out here? Anna Mary rhymes with library, Adam shouts as he runs out to greet her. She lets him lead Sand to the barn. And so here we can see Adam is so very excited because the librarian on horseback is coming to bring books. You know what this kind of reminds me of, friends, is like our bookmobile today, which of course is not with horses, but it's on wheels. But it's kind of like the same concept. And here, Adam is going to be leading Sand out to the barn to take a rest. Inside the house, Anna Mary shows Adam the two books she has picked out for him. Andy the Lion by James Dowery and Abraham Lincoln by Ingrid and Edgar Perrine Adore. They are about two brave men, she tells him, knowing his father is away at war. Oh, goodness. Look at that. It was so kind of her, wasn't it, to know the interests of Adam and to try to select two books that maybe he would love reading. And there's Mom sitting there, and she looks like she is either knitting or sewing. Life back then, folks, was very simple, wasn't it? And so Anna Marie stays through lunch. She has a wonderful lunch, having read Andy and the Lion with Adam and gossiped a bit with his mother. Then, with 3 hard-boiled eggs Adam's mother has given her, Anna Marie leaves for her next visit. And we can see she's waving goodbye. And Sand probably got fed as well and had a good rest. Can you see her yet? Asked Alice. Still in bed, though she is no longer spotty with measles. Anna Mary? Her mother smiles. Rhymes with library. She checks once again, looking down the dirt road that leads, after a rough mile, to where her husband works. Not yet, she says as Alice sinks back on her pillows. Wow, everyone so looks forward to the librarian coming to their home and traveling on horseback. She is a much anticipated and beloved visitor, I can tell, can't you? Soon enough, Anna Marie is there. She has Alice in Wonderland and wanna gag's millions of cats because Alice is allergic to cats but loves them in books. Not that she is ready to read it, though you could read it to her, her namesake book. Anna Mary knows Alice's mother can read, though she rarely does. It should be a treat for them both. Anna Mary begins reading the story of the two of them as dinner is prepared. And you can see Anna Mary is reading to our little friend as her mother is cooking dinner and listening. So it sounded like Mom can read but doesn't have a lot of time. And our little friend Alice can't read yet. But I'll bet she still loves the pictures, like many of us, right? Anna Mary stays overnight in their barn, and she is lucky to be there with a brief, hard rain shower in the middle of the night. In the morning, the road already ahead is muddy as Anna Mary and Sand leave the barn, having eaten one of the eggs from Adam's mother's house for breakfast. But the sun is now up, full and golden. So we can see Anna Mary and Sand sleeping in the barn, and they are safe and dry from the rain. And we can see them taking off in the morning after having eaten breakfast. What beautiful illustrations, too. When will she be here? Cried Susan, waving her hand to get her teacher's attention. Mrs. McDougall turns from the blackboard. Well, it is Friday, and she is weary, as she always is at the week's end, but never too weary to answer a question. Suzanne's hand goes down, and for the next hour she concentrates on her arithmetic. So it sounds like Susan is at school with her friends, and they are in the middle of an arithmetic lesson. So who do you think Susan is asking teacher about, Mrs. McDougall? Do you think she's asking her about when Anna Mary is coming? Well, let's find out. Susan's book is a fairy tale collection by the Brothers Grimm with bright illustrations. She doesn't even take time to see what anyone else has received. She looks at the first illustration. It is a princess in a long gown, a crown on her head. Susan sighs and begins to read. There is even a book for the teacher about Paris, France, a place she has never been. Well, Anna Mary rhymes with library. She arrived just in time. to share the school lunch. She's carrying a heavy saddlebag, and it was filled with books for each one of the 7 children in the school. Wow. So, she has a lot of books to carry, doesn't she? And here she is arriving at the school on horseback, and in her saddlebag, she has all those books. She even has a book for the teacher. Can you imagine? So instead of the way we're used to going to the library and visiting and selecting our books, in this story, the library comes to the children. After the children go home for the day, Anna, Mary, and the teacher make dinner together because the school is also the teacher's house. There is a bed in a separate room for Anna Mary, and she will sleep well tonight, as will her horse in the schoolhouse barn with a bale of hay and water in the stall. Without all those heavy books, the trip home will be easier. So here is the teacher and Anna Mary making dinner together. And she has a nice bed to sleep in this evening, doesn't she? Thanks to the teacher. Isn't that wonderful, though, the way everyone in the town and all the different communities took care of the librarian, the horseback riding librarian, and her horse Sand? Well, Anna Mary reads long into the night a book she has saved for herself called Emily Dickinson's Poems. It is a good book she has never read before she has never read before by a poet she has barely heard of. It keeps her up until midnight by the schoolhouse clock, and this for Anna Mary is the reason she is a librarian. This love of books, of words, of stories, and of poems that tell the deep truth. Look at that. And you can tell it's very dark out because we can see the moon. And so how many of you, my friends, stay up maybe a little bit beyond your bedtime because you love to read or look at pictures underneath the blankets with a flashlight? I know I sure used to do that. And I love to read into the night. And so if you enjoyed this story, and I hope you did, it is a new book for us at Alexander Hamilton Memorial Free Library, and it can be found in the picture book section of our children's department. I hope you enjoyed this story, and until next time, have a wonderful evening. Thank you and goodbye.